Today I am reviewing the Meowant Air Purifier. If at any time you'd like to explore this product for yourself and grab it at a great price, be sure to check the links below the video. If you have pets and you are tired of seeing hair floating in the sunlight or smelling that faint, lingering odor of a litter box, you have probably looked at a dozen air purifiers that claim to solve the problem. I have been running the Meowant Air Purifier in my main living space for the past 3 weeks, and I have some thoughts on whether this is actually the pet hair slayer it claims to be, or just another piece of plastic taking up space in your house. The first thing you notice when you pull this out of the box is the design of the air inlets. Most purifiers use a fine mesh grid, which is a nightmare if you have a shedding dog or cat because that grid clogs up within a few days, forcing the motor to work harder. Meowant went with these U-shaped inlets instead. I was skeptical at first, but after a week of heavy shedding from my golden retriever, I checked the intake, and it was actually doing what they promised. It pulled in a significant amount of fur that usually ends up on my baseboards. You can check the links below the video if you want to see the current pricing or look at the specific dimensions to see if it fits your space. The dual intake design is the real workhorse here. Because it pulls air from both sides, it moves a massive volume of air much faster than the single intake units I have tested in the past. If you are dealing with a large room, they claim up to 2,600 square feet. You're going to notice the difference in how quickly the air feels crisp again after you have been cooking or if someone has been vaping nearby. Now, let's talk about the filtration, because this is where most budget-friendly units fail. You get a 6-layer system with true H13 HEPA filters. Crucially, they use real activated carbon rather than that thin, useless carbon-coated cotton you find in cheaper models. I put this to the test near my cat's litter area, and it did a genuinely impressive job of neutralizing those sharp odors. Just a heads up, make sure you actually take the plastic off the filters before you turn it on for the first time, because I almost forgot to do that, and it would have been a very quiet, very ineffective week. The PM2.5 display is a nice touch, and the auto mode is actually responsive. I watched the sensor jump from green to red when I started searing a steak in the kitchen, and the fan kicked into high gear almost immediately to clear the smoke. It is not just a gimmick, it actually reacts to what is happening in your home. However, it is not perfect. While the sleep mode is marketed at 25 decibels, which is whisper quiet, the higher fan speeds are definitely audible. If you're a light sleeper and you have the unit in your bedroom, you probably won't want to run it on anything higher than the lowest setting at night. Also, while the pre-filters are washable, which is a huge money saver, you have to be disciplined about it. If you let them get caked in dust and hair, you're going to lose that efficiency, so put a reminder on your phone to rinse them off every few weeks. In terms of value, this feels like a solid mid-range choice. You are paying for the dual intake performance and the better filtration materials. If you have a small apartment with no pets, this might be overkill for you, and you could find something cheaper. But if you have multiple pets or you live in an area where wildfire smoke is a seasonal concern, the performance here justifies the cost. You can find the links below the video to explore the product further. My biggest disappointment is the footprint. It is a bit wider than some of the taller, cylindrical purifiers, so you have to be intentional about where you place it so you aren't constantly bumping into it. But honestly, I would take the wider footprint for the sake of the dual intake efficiency any day. If you are tired of cleaning your air filters every 3 days because they are clogged with fur, this is one of the few units I have tested that actually handles pet hair without needing constant maintenance. It is a practical, functional machine that does exactly what it says on the box, provided you keep those pre-filters clean.